Mishmash! Kitbash Corner!
Hey, today we're doing another episode of the Space Marine Kitbashing series, but it's a little bit more hero-focused. Usually my kitbashes consist primarily of trying to tackle the basic tactical of a specific chapter. However, I've tackled a lot of Iron Hand successors for the most part, and I've definitely beaten the Sons of Medusa stuff into the ground. So I decided to kitbash some hero characters that are more Iron Hands themed. Each of these can be used for different hero types on the battlefield, chapter masters, maybe tech marines. I'm not going for anything specific in terms of edition, however I am building for 7th, but each of these kitbashes will serve you well if you want to use it for your own Iron Hand successors or simply just wanting to make a cool figure. These figures will most likely end up as Sons of Medusa, but I haven't painted anything yet, so maybe you have a specific chapter you want to see painted and or kitbashed on the channel in the future. Let me know in the comments. But before we get into the meat and taters of the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, share it with a friend. Hype the video if you're on mobile, and if you really dig it, consider becoming a channel member. For just $3 a month, you get to see my videos early, and for $5, you get access to a weekly Q&A stream, as well as exclusive roles and channels within the Mishmash Discord. You also get little sneak previews on what I'm working on in the background, and we do a hobby meetup every month. Just want to say a huge thank you to the channel members. You guys are amazing. But additionally, if you like miniature Tabletop Stronghold, that's right, bitch baby barbecue sauce, this video is sponsored by Tabletop Stronghold, your surefire way of getting your miniatures from point A to point B with the power of magnets. Mag Case is by far one of my favorite cases I've ever used, and as somebody that kind of holds their miniatures to a sacred level of love and adoration, I trust the Mag Case to keep my little toys safe and sound on my way to the hobby store. And hey, if a case isn't your thing, you can also get your mitts on some amazing MDF terrain. But you can also get both up to 40% off with the Black Friday sale. Now that's a sweet deal. Big thank you to Tabletop Stronghold for sponsoring this video. But enough of the promotional stuff, let's get into the kit bashing. Now, these 3 figures are all different hero characters that I'm somewhat swapping around and mixing and matching the bits with. However, like previous videos, we'll get more detailed kit bashes as we go on in the video. The first model I'll be kit bashing in this episode is Canuck Var, and I'm simply just repurposing him to be a chapter agnostic figure. Admittedly, as much as I want to kit bash this guy in crazy ways, they kind of nailed this figure, and I'd like to simply just take away some bits and keep it Iron Handsy, but not directly Iron Hands. Though I will do little bits and pieces here and there to very clearly make this guy into a Sons of Medusa hero. The first major change I really made to this guy was simply reposing the arm to already an aim pose. This is not by any means a kit bash, but it is important for other bits we'll be fitting on him later. And as much temptation as I had to change up the weapon, I'm never going to change a power Kanabo to anything else. The thing's too badass. But to now truly begin converting this guy over to an agnostic miniature, we'll have to slowly slice off the Iron Hand symbol with our hobby knife. This is simple enough, it's really not that difficult. And a big part of this is that the Iron Hands logo lends itself well for slicing. We'll start by slicing the fingers and go downward. Pulling towards yourself will give you the best amount of overall dexterity with your hobby knife. Think of it like that scene in Surf's Up where they're making the surfboard, but in reverse. Once the symbol is mostly sliced off, we'll then want to use a very fine grit sander from a Gundam kit to completely sand this pauldron down to a nice smooth surface. For any new hobbyists or older hobbyists, I highly recommend Gundam kit sanders. They're super cheap and they're super effective. Once the pauldron is completely cleaned off of any excess plastic, we can then glue it onto the figure and he's looking pretty good. Already, he seems like just a basic figure, and though I typically hate to completely destroy character figures, I don't really care about the Iron Hands. Also, additionally, just a little bit that I didn't really mention or show off, I'm just not using the servo skulls. I'll use them for something else. Now for his helmet. This is where things get a little convoluted. The only Terminators I really have are the push fits, so the only other interesting bit I had that was Terminator related was the Blood Angels upgrade helmet. So I decided to very cleanly slice off the blood drip. This is a little bit more difficult than one would think. Even though the symbol is easy to slice off to begin with, it rather snugly hugs close to the servo eye. However, just simply going slowly with this and trimming off the excess is the key. I didn't want to rush this, I didn't want to go crazy with it, and once it was completely sliced off, I used just a touch of Tamiya to let it settle and smooth things out, and for flavor I drilled in a couple of bullet holes. But now to add in my little Sons of Medusa flair, I decided to use this pendant from the Centurions kit. Even though they're one of my favorite chapters, if not my favorite, they have possibly the most generic symbol out of any Space Marine chapter. Which is kind of a good thing, because you can get symbols anywhere. And because I decided to repose the Stormbolter, I decided to simply glue on the symbol to the end. Sure, it looks a little gargantuan, but a little chapter pride never hurts. I would have to use super glue on this, however, as Tamiya would easily break off. But one interesting detail I almost neglected to add into the video was fixing the little peg in the side of the Kanabo. See, the servo skulls actually play a pretty pivotal role with this figure, and that is to fill in negative space on the weapon. There's literally a stud that is attached to one of the skulls, something I'm not too keen about. But after clipping away one of the push-fit pegs on one of my various marine bits, I simply slotted it into place and it's a relatively perfect fit, albeit a little loosey-goosey. However, if you simply add in just a little bit of Tamiya, it melds in quite well, and it's pretty much seamless. Well, with those final details, our first figure is complete, and I'm rather happy with how he turned out. Normally I'd glue the helmet on, but because I'm painting this guy as a son of Medusa, I decided to keep the helmet separate. However, because I have to have this guy completely built for a kitbashing video, otherwise I gotta have him painted, I decided to use just a touch of putty to keep the helmet in place. It's not the biggest kitbash you could possibly see, that's what the rest of the video is for, but I'm really happy with how this guy turned out. Again, I didn't really want to mess with the figure that much because it's such a great design, but I strongly believe it would look even better in Sons of Medusa colors. But you're probably noticing now we don't have his noggin. Well, we'll be repurposing it for the next figure. Speaking of which, let's get to that. Our next figure is utilizing the body of Iron Father Pharaohs, an already pretty interesting figure, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Gravis armor. Speaking of which, I dusted off some old aggressors I purchased. These are the aggressors I purchased from the Dark Imperium box when it came out. Wow. Well, I decided to use their arms and attach them to the main body. I'd also adorn these arms with pauldrons from the Rapier Squad kit from the Horus Heresy line, an absolute cornucopia for Iron Hands bits. Might look just a little shrimpy on this guy, but I just don't like how Gravis pauldrons look. With both arms attached, this guy is starting to look pretty good, even if I do have my reservations on any other character with dual power fists and machine guns other than Papa Smurf himself. Feels a little wrong, but whatever. I then attach a power pack from the Aggressors kit, which, okay, I'm gonna stop complaining about Gravis after this part. I'll be done after this. Gravis just kind of annoys me because it's not really easy to kitbash onto. I'm really not a huge fan of Primaris power packs because they're a little too smooth, and Gravis exclusively uses Gravis power packs. It's the only ones that can attach properly. And I value my sanity, so I'm just sticking with this. As for his noggin, I'm stealing it from Canuck Var. Even though he does have the little receptacle on the end of his noggin, I decided to take some of the other bits from the Rapier Squad kit, this being one of the coiled cables, and I would diligently fit it into place while also pretty much just hiding it behind a pauldron. Hey, you don't need to know where it goes. It works out that way. But with that final detail, this guy is complete, and though he's really not that sophisticated, he still looks pretty damn cool. And sorry for using most of the time talking about him to bitch about Gravis. Regardless, I do think this is a cool figure. Honestly, with the Iron Hands look, I actually really like how the arms look in comparison. In fact, I think Primaris actually looks a lot better with Iron Hands design in mind. If anybody's gonna have the most up-to-date tech, it's gonna be them. And the extra tubing of Iron Hands bits really does fill out some negative space. But hey, this figure is complete, I'm happy with how he looks, but we have one last figure to get to. And last, but certainly not least, we have an Iron Father and or Tech Marine. For this guy, I decided to utilize the body of the Black Templar's Castellan figure, because let's face it, this is probably the best looking Space Marine hero figure we have nowadays. And keeping the model 1-to-1 with the original art piece is just the sugar on top. But in a way of recycling the other bits from the previous characters, I decided to use Pharos' power pack on top of this figure. That's right, I love cannibalizing my different figures to make my own. Though I've been mean to Gravis in this episode, I love this power pack. I love his stupid skill crane claw that has no purpose other than grabbing tiny objects. And admittedly, it fit into place rather nicely. The only thing that was even remotely annoying is it didn't fully fit onto the body, as I did have to use a little bit of Tamiya to seal it in place. But once I had a decent seal, I decided to add on the arms from Pharos as well. Thankfully, there's a little extra width on these arms due to the Gravis armor, another nice thing I'm saying about it. But even with this extra width, it doesn't exactly fit perfectly onto the body of the Castellan, mostly because I had to carve a lot of pieces out of the way. I had to use some proper super glue for it to stay in place, and I had to hold some pretty harsh pressure. However, you might notice, it doesn't fully conform properly. It does look a little ugly, and there's some pretty horrific gaps. But we'll fix that up in just a little bit. Once it's in place, I could then repeat a step that I did with the previous figure, slicing down the Iron Hand symbol. However, I will say this time I filmed it a lot better than the first go-around. Technically I filmed this first, so I guess this was the first go-around. Whatever. But once everything was properly sanded down and all the excess plastic was removed, I would glue it onto the figure. Here I'll say something positive about the Gravis pauldrons. They're a lot easier to slice down than a regular pauldron. But again, you can really notice just how ugly these gaps are on the figure. You can clearly see that things are not lining up perfectly. So we're gonna have to break out an old friend. This being good old green stuff. After mixing it up and giving it a good amount of time to dry, I would roll the green stuff into very thin tubes. I'd then slide these into place as a means of creating very heavy-duty wires, something every Iron Hands figure should have to begin with. My first idea was to simply carve up the green stuff to resemble the same texture as the buckle going around the chest plate, but I find the tubes to be far more fun. Plus, it's a really easy way of adding in areas of which I can paint in for contrasting colors. It took a good while to fit this into place, mind you. However, it's really not that hard once you get the hang of it. One gargantuan favor I did for myself was to glue the arms on first. Having a steady surface and a nice little area for these tubes to fit into was really ideal. But once everything was molded into place, I selected a head. Honestly, what the hell else was I gonna use? It's perfect. It doesn't need to be changed. Part of me wanted to use a Centurion helmet and maybe saving the Castellan helmet for a Centurion character, but it doesn't fit properly and I'm not carving this helmet up. So it shall remain mounted on a little piece of paper clip in place for painting. Or at least it was until I decided that putting it on with putty would probably be a better visual experience. At the end of the day, I have to say very confidently that this is probably my favorite figure I've ever made for Iron Hands. Everything fits into place, he'd be a great centerpiece for an army, or at least a small one. And considering that the Sons of Medusa army is slowly but surely being worked on in the background, you can expect to see this guy in a big video within, who knows how long I'm going to take on that. I'll probably just share that in bits and pieces. As for the other two figures, though I did talk about different chapters that they could be, I'm really thinking Red Talons or Steel Confessors. But of course, I do want to know what you guys think too. Also, just want to say, sorry it's such a brief video for this week. Not feeling the best, but I did want to put something out. Regardless, by this point, I'm definitely flapping my beak enough for one video. So, if you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. My goal is to get to 50k. 50k. Yeah, it literally takes like a second and I'd really appreciate it. But with that in mind, like always, remember to mishmash, kitbash, and paint some fantastic miniatures. And you're gonna. I promise. See ya.